All right, so here we have Brad have been logged in as a system administrator, and they can remove users. They should also be able to add users or manipulate existing users. So let's play around with those ideas, right? In particular, let's work on maybe creating new users, right? So let's create new users. So to do that, right? Let's manipulate the user list template, right? And what we could do is perhaps on the first row, well, we could put maybe another line item here. We could put maybe a simple form, right, that folks could use to add new users, right? Again, it could be a div, a class row, with a couple of columns here, column XS3, right? And this could be an input field tied to ng model, and this could be user dot username, okay? And this could be class form control, right? And we can have a couple of these, right? So we can have a username, first name, do we have first name, last name? I forget. I think we we've removed first name and last name. Why do we do that? 333. Oh, because it didn't fit, huh? Okay. I guess we could do this. This could be a 1, and username could be. This could be 2 here, or maybe this could be 2 here. So that gives us space, I think. Right? And this could be also same thing. This could be 2. And this could be a 1. Oh no, I need one more. First name, first, last. Last name. Is that enough? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 times 4 is 12, right? Is that right? Okay. And in here I have what? Let's see. We have username. So this would be first name, first name. This could be last name, last name. This could be roles. This could be roles. And finally, one more would be this glyphicon, maybe here. But no glyphicon here. Maybe like an OK. An OK. And this says, and this would be create user, create a new user with user. All right, something like that. There it is. So input fields at the top, and if you say OK, right, it creates that brand new user, right? And if you want to get fancy, maybe you can add a top level row with some labels. With no inputs fields, and then just maybe a label in there. So this could say maybe username. This could be first. This could be last. And this could be roles. Something like that. But that looks pretty insipid. That first row looks very insipid. So you could highlight it just to make it look a little fancier. So this is maybe active. Something like that. That looks okay. All right, so let's look at how we could create one. If you add here a username first and last on the controller. Where is it? Here, right? We would have to receive here an event handler that says create user that actually creates the user. I think we implemented that, didn't we? So here's our user, and I believe we have the user service for that. User service, create user, user, and then just find all the users. Find all users. I think we implemented. Let's try it. So let's refresh, and we'll just create some bogus folks here. Now on the roles, I'm not sure what we're going to do here. Let's do an OK. All right, so we created this this brand new user. Notice that by default it added our user array. Right, so that's exactly what we wanted to do, and we could just create any number of users. Maybe what we want to do is that once we create the user, perhaps can we do that? Let's see. Create user. Create user. Can we do that? User equal null. Let's see if. All right, there it is. It's clearing out the user at the top so that you can keep adding more and more. Right, and we can remove bogus ones. Right, so there it is. So we have the capability of adding adding new users. What about adding different roles? Can we do that? Let's see if we have. So what about adding here? Certainly user, comma. It'd be nice if I could just put the roles here. It says admin, and say OK. Notice that it understands that it's an array. See that? Right? Where's the one we just created? Oh no, actually no, it didn't. Notice that it just added user, right? So it's completely ignored because remember the create user on the server side, right? It just blanket ignores anything that is coming from the client, and it adds a default array of just plain old user, right? So we could be a little more sophisticated, right? If we restart this, if we go on the server side, I believe it was in the user service server, I think. Or where do we do that? Was it in the model? Yeah, right here, right? So let's put a breakpoint here. What happens when we create some user? We say OK. Okay, so if we hover over, this is what's coming from the client. Oh, right, we didn't add a role. Let's try it again. Something valid, right? So this will be user admin. Okay. So if we hover over it, let's see what we get from the client. Notice that we get a comma separated string. Right? It's not exactly what we want, right? So we will probably need to just maybe convert it into an array, right? And that's easy enough. That's easy enough. We could just say user roles, right, is maybe user.roles. Oh wait, user roles is equal to user roles split, right? Split on a comma. So let's try it again. Let's log in. We'll need to log in again as Brad. And go to our user, to our admin user. Localhost. Okay, I think we're still logged in. Admin user. Okay, there we are. So let's try it again. So this is user admin. Okay, let's try. Let's step one more. Let's see roles. Roles is an array of 2 elements that have user and admin. Let's see if it accepts it. There it is. So it did work. User and admin. But we should check to see if what is coming is null. We might not have a role, right? So we want to make sure that if it is null, we want to make sure that if user roles, right? Then we do this. Otherwise, perhaps we say user.roles equal user. Something like that. I'm sorry.
Because before value, you do that.
The string has a default value, right? But the array doesn't have a default value.
When you create the user, it automatically creates that array with user and
Yes. Yep.
what you need to find
Where? Here? Oh, if you come back with if roles is empty.
Here you want to create a user. So if rows is empty, you just do nothing. Why should we?
So this is not added automatically. The string has a default value, but the array could be empty. The array could be empty. But the string can only be those values, right? Well, actually, let's try it. Let's try it out. So let's log in as Brad. And let's, so I'm not going to provide anything. Yeah, it's empty. Right. So let's remove that, and let's put that back. Restart. So it's Brad. All right, so we're able to add new users, and look at and set their roles, right? What I like to be able to do is modify a user, right? Say you know I want to remove the admin role from your allowable roles. Also notice that create user, right? Create user should only be available. Create user should only be available from the admin's point of view, right? It shouldn't be available for anybody else, right? And so we should be able to protect it, right? So we could just use the isAdmin and just add it in front of create user. Because notice that other folks, if they want to register, notice that they have a dedicated endpoint. See that? Right? And that's not protected. Anybody can register. Right? Anybody should be able to register. That should not be protected, right? But not anybody should be able to create users. Right? Not everybody should be able to just post data to this endpoint. Okay? Just like not anybody should be able to just delete any one user. So let's finish up with update user, and then we'll take a break.